We haven't seen a downfall yet. We're just saying...
The trial was very public, and the details were pretty disturbing.
They weren't disturbing enough to get a few stupid people in a jury to understand it.
One of the major takeaways from that viral video was a pointed lesson about consent, and it resonated deeply with viewers. The video emphasized a fundamental truth that often gets overlooked. Just because someone initially agrees to something doesn't mean their consent is permanent, and it can absolutely be withdrawn at any point. That message struck a chord, particularly because it challenges a lot of assumptions people tend to make about relationships, power dynamics, and accountability in the music industry. For many, it served as a stark reminder that consent is fluid and that respecting it requires constant awareness and attention, not just a one-time agreement. The commentary in the video wasn't sugarcoated. It asked viewers to confront uncomfortable realities about behavior, fame, and responsibility. And as the video wrapped up, it didn't shy away from asking the next tough question, one that fans and observers are now wrestling with across social media and forums. Now that these documentaries, exposés, and first-hand stories are widely accessible, how should audiences respond? It's a question without an easy answer because it forces fans to reconcile their love for music with the actions of the people behind it. Are we still streaming their albums, attending concerts, purchasing merchandise, or are audiences starting to hold performers accountable in ways they never did before? It's a conversation that cuts to the heart of culture, ethics, and fandom, and it's only getting louder. More and more, people are openly debating whether their support should be conditional on behavior, or if art can be separated from the artist. Just when it seemed the situation couldn't escalate further, new rumors began spreading, adding another layer of complexity. Word started circulating that some of Diddy's staff were claiming they hadn't received their paychecks since he was taken into custody. Naturally, this immediately set off alarms and prompted heated discussions online. However, his spokesperson quickly stepped in to quash the speculation, asserting that it was entirely false, insisting that everyone remains on the payroll and that no one had quit due to financial issues. Yet, despite the official statement, there are individuals claiming to be close to the inner workings who tell a different story. According to these sources, a number of employees have indeed walked away, frustrated by missing payments or delayed compensation. As always with high-profile stories like this, separating verified facts from rumor is incredibly difficult, but one thing is clear. The narrative surrounding Diddy's financial operations is becoming more convoluted by the day, and each new report adds to the public's curiosity and concern. So what's really happening behind the scenes with all of this money drama? According to several insiders, a company named TriStar Sports and Entertainment is now managing Diddy's finances while he remains behind bars. TriStar reportedly operates with extremely strict protocols regarding the release of funds. Even if Diddy wanted to pay someone or allocate resources personally, every transaction has to go through multiple layers of oversight, approval, and bureaucratic verification. This process, by all accounts, can take an unexpectedly long time and sometimes creates bottlenecks that leave staff and associates waiting far longer than anticipated. And here's where it gets even more surprising. The financial complications are reportedly affecting not just employees, but family members as well. Sources suggest that Diddy's mother, Janice Combs, along with his children, have experienced significant hurdles in accessing funds for even basic day-to-day necessities. Imagine a reality shift so extreme that one day you're living in luxury, private flights, designer shopping, extravagant lifestyles, and the next, you're suddenly restricted from touching your own money. For many, that contrast is shocking, almost surreal, but it illustrates just how complex and tightly controlled Diddy's finances have become under these extraordinary circumstances. The combination of strict corporate oversight, legal complications, and the sudden unavailability of liquid funds has created a situation that is as stressful for those closest to him as it is intriguing to the public.
There already have been tape leaking around Hollywood, being shopped around to individuals in Hollywood, but one particular person contacted me to shop a particular video they were in possession of and to contact the person who was in the video to see if they were interested in purchasing the video before it became a public knowledge.
I've heard this before, so like a catch and kill.
Catch and kill.
Whether people feel sympathy for him or not, this situation is a stark reminder of how quickly life can completely turn on its head. 1 minute, someone is living at the very top of the entertainment world, private jets, exclusive parties, limitless access, and the next minute, everything is frozen. Careers pause, money gets locked up, and even basic routines are suddenly out of reach. It's the kind of reversal that feels unreal until it happens, and that contrast alone has kept public attention locked on this story. But just when it seemed like things couldn't get any more shocking, the narrative took an even stranger turn. According to reports circulating from major outlets, including the New York Post, journalists have allegedly come across footage connected to Diddy's private parties from the early 2000s. These weren't just any gatherings either. The claims suggest these events date back to around 2004 and 2005, during some of the biggest weekends in the entertainment calendar. We're talking about moments like the MTV Video Music Awards and Super Bowl afterparties, times when the industry's biggest names were all in the same place, celebrating behind closed doors. These parties have long been part of music industry legend. For years, they were whispered about as ultra-exclusive events where only a select inner circle was allowed inside. At the time, they were framed as glamorous, untouchable symbols of success.
What do you think that Diddy's downfall means for the music industry and for men like him? Do you think this will help create some type of change?
We haven't seen a downfall yet. We're just saying
The trial was very public, and the details were pretty disturbing.
they weren't disturbing enough to get a few stupid people in a jury to understand it. So, wasn't that effective. Wasn't that much of a downfall.
But the conversation doesn't stop at Diddy. Another viral video has expanded the debate to a much larger discussion about accountability and the entertainment industry. In this clip, a commentator posed a provocative question: can we continue supporting artists accused of harming others? They listed high-profile figures like Tupac, Biggie, Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, and Chris Brown alongside Diddy, challenging fans to rethink the cultural narratives they've consumed for decades. The question resonates because it moves the story beyond gossip, framing it as a serious discussion about ethics, influence, and responsibility. Fans online are divided. Some argue that artistic output should be separated from personal actions, while others insist accountability is paramount, insisting that support for such figures has consequences. The debate is intense, with threads spanning hours of discussion, thousands of comments, and heated exchanges across platforms. For Diddy, it's no longer just about personal or financial moves, it's about how the public perceives him in the context of broader societal issues. Each viral clip, insider quote, and rumor now feeds into a layered narrative about power, privilege, and justice. This expanded conversation illustrates the stakes. Diddy's decisions, selling the jet, managing assets, responding to criticism, aren't happening in isolation. They intersect with questions of morality, fairness, and industry standards. Every social media post, every interview, and every business move is scrutinized not only for what it reveals about him personally, but for what it says about the system he operates within. In many ways, the discussion has evolved into a cultural reflection: how society deals with influential figures, how accountability is enforced, and how celebrity culture amplifies or obscures truth. Ultimately, this is more than a story about one artist or a luxury jet. It's about the intersections of fame, power, responsibility, and public perception. Diddy's moves, viral clips, and the reactions they've generated illustrate the complexity of navigating life at the top, where every decision is magnified, every gesture analyzed, and every rumor can take on a life of its own. Fans, critics, and media outlets will continue monitoring each development closely because the implications stretch far beyond one individual. They reflect the evolving conversation about ethics, influence, and accountability in the modern entertainment industry.
This bad bitch be good and that she almost drove me crazy. I pulled up to her crib, I was in that 19 Mercedes. I got this bad bitch from LA, she be fucking.
One particular event that keeps getting mentioned in these reports is an after-party following the 2005 MTV Video Music Awards. According to sources cited by the New York Post, the guest list early in the night looked exactly like what you'd expect from a top-tier Hollywood gathering. Big, recognizable names were allegedly in attendance: Eva Longoria, Paris Hilton, Ice-T, Quincy Jones, people whose presence alone signaled that this was a high-profile, industry-approved event. On the surface, it looked polished, glamorous, and perfectly in line with the public image of elite celebrity culture at the time. But according to those same reports, the atmosphere didn't stay that way for the entire night. As the evening wore on, and many of the major A-list guests began to leave, sources claim the tone of the party shifted dramatically. What had once felt like a standard celebrity celebration reportedly turned into something far more chaotic and unfiltered. The claim suggests that once the high-profile crowd cleared out, the environment became noticeably different, less structured, less public-facing, and far more secretive. The reports describe an atmosphere where people allegedly felt free to behave without concern for cameras or public scrutiny. According to these accounts, phones were put away, recording devices were limited, and the sense of restraint that typically comes with celebrity visibility seem to disappear. The word wild gets used frequently in descriptions, with sources implying that what happened later in the night bore little resemblance to the polished event that had started earlier. These are the kinds of stories that, for years, only existed as whispers in Hollywood circles, rumors people talked about quietly but never openly confirmed. What makes these claims even more unsettling, at least to those following the story closely, is the suggestion that some details from the alleged footage line up with real-world timelines. The New York Post reported that certain elements, such as the location, guest movements, and timing, could be matched to known dates and documented events from that period. That connection, whether ultimately verified or not, has fueled speculation and intensified public curiosity. It's one thing to hear vague rumors. It's another when people claim they can place those rumors within a specific historical context. Of course, it's important to stress that these are still reports, not proven facts. The footage itself has not been publicly released, and much of what's being discussed comes from unnamed sources. Still, the mere existence of these claims has added another layer of tension to an already complicated situation. Even for people who remain skeptical, the growing volume of similar stories is hard to ignore. Whether you believe every detail or question the credibility of the reports entirely, one thing is undeniable. The narrative surrounding Diddy continues to grow more tangled by the day. Each new claim raises more questions than answers, and the public is watching closely to see what, if anything, will surface next. At this point, the story has moved far beyond isolated rumors. It's become an unfolding saga, and many are bracing for what the next revelation might bring.
We had a recording of Meek and Diddy
making love?
Ew. I don't know if it was love.
Okay, you have it? Let's hear it.
Now this is where the story starts to feel unsettlingly specific, at least according to the people analyzing these clips. In one of the videos that's been circulating, viewers notice something that immediately set off alarms. Diddy appears to be wearing the exact same white t-shirt he was photographed in at the VMA after-party that night. The shirt wasn't generic either. It had a bold, unmistakable message across the front that read, "God is the greatest," printed in large black letters. That detail alone made people pause. When internet sleuths began comparing the footage frame by frame with archived photos from the actual VMA after-party, the match looked almost too precise to ignore. Same shirt, same fit, same styling. The timing lined up perfectly. According to those making the comparisons, this wasn't a coincidence or a recycled outfit from another event. It strongly suggested that the clip originated from that very same night. That realization pushed the conversation from vague rumor territory into something that felt far more concrete, at least in the court of public opinion. And that wasn't the only moment being dissected. Another set of reports focuses on Super Bowl weekend in February 2005, a time known for some of the biggest and most exclusive celebrity gatherings of the year. According to multiple sources, Diddy hosted an enormous, star-packed gala during that weekend. The guest list, as reported, included names like Ashton Kutcher, Ashley Simpson, and Joe Francis, along with plenty of other industry insiders. By all accounts, it was exactly the kind of high-profile event you'd expect, glamorous, tightly controlled, and very public. But according to these same reports, that wasn't where the night ended. Once the official event wrapped up, the celebration allegedly continued elsewhere. Sources claim the party moved to a private mansion Diddy was renting at the time, reportedly costing around $20,000 per week. That detail alone paints a picture of extreme luxury and privacy. A space far removed from cameras, press, and casual onlookers. It's at this location, according to online chatter and media reports, that another mysterious clip is believed to have been recorded. The footage reportedly shows a chaotic, laughter-filled environment that feels far more intimate and unfiltered than anything seen earlier in the night. People online describe the scene as loose, personal, and completely different in tone from the polished gala atmosphere. What really sent speculation into overdrive was one particular detail viewers latched onto. Some claimed it looked as though the camera was being held by Diddy himself, filming from a first-person perspective. There's no confirmation of that, but the angle, movement, and proximity led many to believe the person behind the camera was not an outsider or observer, but someone deeply involved in the moment. That single possibility was enough to make the internet spiral. Comment sections exploded with theories, breakdowns, and frame-by-frame analyses. While none of this has been officially verified, the level of detail being discussed has made the story feel increasingly real to many observers. Whether these clips prove anything or not remains to be seen. But the way they line up with known events, dates, and appearances is exactly why people can't stop talking about them. And as more eyes turn toward these old moments, the question keeps coming back. How much of this was hiding in plain sight all along?
It is the first videos of Diddy in prison at Fort Dix. I mean, how do they keep getting this stuff? And how much are they paying these other inmates to send them videos of Diddy? This is wild. Apparently, Diddy was working. Diddy helps give movies and religious materials to other inmates.
This is where the situation reportedly takes an even more serious turn. According to accounts shared in the press, a federal law enforcement source suggested that some of the footage now circulating appears to align with other material authorities already possess. That doesn't mean conclusions have been reached, but it does explain why investigators are said to be paying closer attention. The central issue they're reportedly focused on is consent, specifically whether everyone involved fully understood what was happening at the time and willingly agreed to it. That question alone changes the entire context of these clips, and is now being described as the critical factor moving forward. But just as that revelation began making waves, the story reportedly became even more complicated. You might remember long-standing rumors about private tapes quietly changing hands in Hollywood for years. Well, those rumors resurfaced in a much more unsettling way recently. A lawyer representing one of the individuals connected to Diddy's broader situation made a claim that stunned a lot of people. She stated publicly that someone had contacted her directly, attempting to sell a video that allegedly featured Diddy alongside another extremely well-known celebrity. What made her statement even more shocking was that she claimed she actually viewed the footage herself. According to her, there was no ambiguity about who appeared in the clip. She said the identity of the second individual was unmistakable, and in her words, that person was an even bigger name than Diddy. She emphasized that there was no confusion, no guessing, and no uncertainty. If true, that kind of allegation alone would be enough to send shockwaves through the entertainment industry, especially given how tightly controlled celebrity images usually are. And according to these same reports, this isn't believed to be an isolated case. Insiders are claiming that multiple clips are allegedly being circulated behind the scenes, quietly offered to people connected to those involved. Some have described it as a catch situation, where individuals attempt to profit by selling private footage before threatening to release it publicly if no deal is made. That type of scenario edges dangerously close to blackmail territory, and sources suggest it may not be limited to just one high-profile figure. The idea alone is chilling. Imagine receiving a message or call from someone claiming they possess damaging footage of you, demanding payment to keep it from going public. For anyone, especially someone in the public eye, that's the kind of pressure that can feel overwhelming. Careers, reputations, families, and legacies could all hang in the balance. And when fame is involved, the stakes are even higher because once something hits the internet, there's no taking it back. Still, it's important to note that none of these claims have been fully verified, and no official confirmation has been released tying specific footage to criminal wrongdoing. At this stage, everything being discussed exists in the realm of allegations, second-hand accounts, and legal claims made through representatives. But even so, the implications are massive. The fact that such conversations are happening at all suggests how serious the situation has become. And here's the uncomfortable reality many observers keep circling back to. If nothing inappropriate or unethical had occurred in the first place, there would be no leverage for anyone to exploit. The existence of alleged footage, and the power it supposedly holds, is what has people questioning what really happened behind closed doors all those years ago. As this story continues to unfold, the line between rumor and reality is becoming harder for the public to ignore.
I'm going to take your souls. We have the power. We decide what's hot. If we don't go, nobody goes. If we don't support, nobody supports. We control what's cool. We control what's hot. We control what your kids listen to, what they dance to. We control what's in video games. We control how they wear their pants, sag their pants. We control everything.
Before we dig deeper into the viral clips and social media buzz, it's essential to rewind and understand how Diddy's current situation developed, because without that context, nothing else makes sense. The backstory is intense and filled with twists that shed light on why he might be selling assets and why the online world is going haywire over every new video. The timeline begins back in March 2024 when federal authorities reportedly executed searches at his residences in both Los Angeles and Miami. Imagine waking up to law enforcement knocking at your door in the early morning, sifting through your personal spaces and demanding answers. For someone like Diddy, a man whose lifestyle has been as public as it is extravagant, that kind of intrusion is both shocking and transformative. From that moment, multiple legal issues began stacking up. Insiders say Diddy has been making strategic financial moves to safeguard his empire and protect assets he's built over decades. Everything from homes and cars to bank accounts and investment portfolios has been under scrutiny, and selling high-value items, like his matte black jet, is a logical step in managing risk and mitigating exposure. These moves aren't reckless. They're calculated, designed to shield his holdings and maintain flexibility in the face of potential legal or financial complications. Legal sources indicate that had things escalated, officials were prepared to take drastic action, potentially freezing or seizing assets to satisfy pending investigations. This is where the sale of the jet gains real significance. On the surface, it might look like a flashy celebrity decision, but in reality, it's a protective maneuver. By converting a fixed, high-maintenance asset into liquid cash, Diddy gains financial agility, ensuring he can respond quickly to legal developments or unexpected costs. Sources close to the situation explain that large-scale asset management like this isn't just about money, it's about control and preparedness. For someone with as much at stake as Diddy, liquidating high-profile items reduces exposure and allows him to stay one step ahead. The broader picture includes more than just the jet. Reports suggest that Diddy has been strategically adjusting his holdings, streamlining operations, and positioning himself to weather potential turbulence in both his music ventures and business enterprises. Insiders argue that these moves are intelligent from a risk management perspective. Selling visible, symbolic assets like luxury vehicles, jets, or real estate can mitigate attention while providing flexibility to allocate funds wherever they're needed most. Fans and followers may interpret these actions as panic, drama, or even scandal, but those in the know see it as a methodical approach to preserving influence, capital, and long-term sustainability. Combined with viral clips and social media speculation, the story paints a complex portrait of a man navigating extraordinary pressures. Every online video, party clip, or mystery audio snippet contributes to public perception, while behind the scenes, financial maneuvers are quietly unfolding. It's a dual narrative, one played out in the court of public opinion, and the other in the real world of asset management, legal counsel, and strategic planning. Both are critical to understanding why Diddy made such a bold and highly visible move with his private jet.
Just being able to be here, this hit. Good, so them band hoes try me. They try me. Jesus' name, we're free. Amen.
Bring it in, bring it in, bring it in. Hold
on. But wait, because somehow the story takes an even stranger turn. TMZ recently dropped new footage showing Diddy inside Fort Dix prison, and the internet immediately went into shock mode. What really threw people off wasn't just the setting, but his demeanor. Instead of appearing stressed, tense, or defeated, he was actually smiling, like, genuinely smiling. And that confused a lot of people. This is someone currently facing multiple lawsuits, intense public scrutiny, and a reputation that's taken serious damage. Yet there he was, looking oddly calm, almost cheerful, as if everything was under control. Naturally, the reactions were split. Some people believe he was simply putting on a brave face for the cameras, trying to project strength and composure in a moment where the world is watching his every move. Others, though, started speculating that maybe he knows something the public doesn't. Maybe there's a deal being discussed behind closed doors. Maybe certain information is about to surface that could change the direction of everything. No one actually knows what's happening behind the scenes, but that footage definitely felt unsettling in its own way.
Ladies and gentlemen, for all those in London that don't know what happens to the white man when he comes to a P. Diddy party, this is what happens to the white man.
It's so unfortunate.
You gotta pull back though, so they can see. That's crazy. Matt, move out the way. You're still alive. And that's James from Simeon Mobile Disco. He is a actual DJs aren't supposed to pass out, but when they come to one of my parties, this is what happens to them. I put him to sleep.
Next day, right?
You put the drink on his head.
There you go. There it is.
Come on. Let's go. Let's go.
Something massive is happening with Sean Diddy Combs, and the internet cannot stop talking about it. Across social media, new clips, stories, and speculation are exploding like wildfire, with fans and critics alike scrambling to figure out what's really going on behind the scenes. Everywhere you scroll, there's chatter, tweets, TikToks, YouTube videos, and Instagram reels, an endless stream of people reacting in real time. But here's the kicker that really has everyone's jaws on the floor. Diddy reportedly just sold his iconic matte black private jet. That's right, the very same jet he had been flaunting for years, the one that had become almost synonymous with his image of luxury, style, and power. Fans remember it vividly, those glossy photos posted online, Diddy leaning against the sleek black exterior, perfectly styled in his designer outfits, sunglasses on, flashing that signature confidence. The jet wasn't just transportation, it was a symbol, a statement of success and exclusivity that fans associated directly with his persona. And now gone. Just like that. The shock isn't just about the money either. Jets like that are expensive to maintain, sure, but they're also highly coveted symbols of status, particularly in hip-hop culture, where private jets signify a level of influence and accomplishment few ever reach. Selling it isn't a small move, it's a public statement that something significant is happening. Naturally, this has caused a massive stir across the web. Fans are theorizing endlessly about why he would part ways with such a prized possession. Is it purely financial, or is there a deeper story here? Every clip, every tweet, and every snippet of information is being dissected, debated, and shared thousands of times over. The jet had been a centerpiece of his public persona, a tangible reflection of the lifestyle Diddy had built and showcased across his social media platforms. Its absence feels symbolic, almost like the first hint of a larger shakeup. People are speculating on multiple fronts. Some say it's a strategic move to liquidate assets for upcoming legal battles. Others argue it might be a calculated effort to shift public perception, signaling a transformation in Diddy's personal or professional life. And the clips keep pouring in, short videos of fans reacting to news, paparazzi shots, and paparazzi-style commentary. There's even talk that Diddy personally orchestrated the sale to avoid long-term complications with taxes, maintenance, or possible scrutiny over his holdings. At the same time, his online presence amplifies the chaos. While some fans express sadness over the disappearance of a cultural icon, the matte black jet, others are intrigued, almost celebratory, viewing it as a bold move in the middle of what seems like a turbulent period. The combination of shock value and speculation has created a perfect storm for online virality. And the timing couldn't be more curious. This isn't just a regular sale. It's happening amidst a flurry of other developments, from viral clips to legal news, creating an atmosphere of suspense and uncertainty around Diddy's next moves. For those trying to connect the dots, this moment feels like the beginning of a larger story that has yet to fully unfold. People are already predicting what could come next. Shifts in his music ventures, possible asset liquidation, or even strategic repositioning within the entertainment and business worlds. Whatever the reason, the jet's sale is the first domino, and everyone is watching closely to see what will fall next. And one thing is certain, social media isn't letting this one go anytime soon. Fans, critics, and news outlets alike are analyzing every frame of the announcement, comparing it to past posts, and speculating endlessly about what Diddy's next steps might be. The frenzy has officially begun, and the world is watching.
I'm from Cali on the beach, man. Venice Beach. Venice Beach.
Like try to raise money for these, mosquito bed nets. So if you don't understand, like, just imagine living in Africa and your little infant child just gets bit by a mosquito and he dies. We're working with a charity this year, and I'm glad to attach with my boys' charity, and we're gonna do it every year with another charity. So thank y'all very much for coming. So let's party.
Beyond the jet, there's another side to the story that's driving intense online discussion. Multiple videos and clips have started circulating at a rapid pace, showing a side of Diddy that fans haven't seen before. There are karaoke moments that capture unexpected humor or raw reactions, party clips that reveal his energy and charisma, and even some mystery audio clips that have sparked speculation about his private life and business dealings. Each new snippet adds fuel to a growing fire of conversation, keeping Diddy trending across every platform imaginable. Some fans are piecing together timelines from these clips, while others are analyzing them for subtle hints about what might be happening legally, financially, or personally. Every upload seems to have a ripple effect, sparking fresh debates, theories, and memes. At the same time, analysts and insiders are looking at the sale of the jet in the context of these viral moments. Many believe that this could signal a major turning point in Diddy's career. Selling such a high-profile asset at a time when public attention is at its peak isn't just about logistics, it's about strategy. Some sources suggest Diddy may be consolidating resources, preparing for upcoming legal or financial challenges, or repositioning himself for new ventures in music, fashion, or media. Every clip, every social media post, and every piece of gossip now ties into a larger narrative about a figure at the intersection of fame, fortune, and public scrutiny. Part of what makes this so compelling is that the clips aren't staged. They're raw, authentic, and spread rapidly by social media users who are eager to share anything that might shed light on what's going on. Fans are discussing them in forums, dissecting every frame, and analyzing body language, expressions, and context for hidden meaning. Even minor gestures, background details, or offhand comments are being interpreted as clues in a larger puzzle. The intensity is reminiscent of high-profile celebrity moments that capture the imagination of the public, where every subtlety feels like it could have massive significance. By the end of this analysis, viewers get a full picture of the current whirlwind surrounding Diddy. The jet sale is just one piece of the puzzle, intertwined with viral videos, social media reactions, and insider commentary. These factors combined suggest a period of transition, perhaps even reinvention, that fans are eager to follow. And the speculation is only growing. People are already asking what this means for Diddy's empire, his influence, and his public image. It's more intense than many expected, and the narrative is far from finished. Social media itself has become part of the story. Every share, like, comment, or repost amplifies the drama and spreads it to new audiences, creating a snowball effect. Viewers are captivated not just by the jet sale, but by the larger implications of what it represents. Change, strategy, and perhaps a recalibration of priorities. This wave of clips, rumors, and online conversation could mark a defining moment in his career, signaling a shift in focus that fans and insiders are only beginning to fully grasp. The combination of visuals, rumors, and speculation keeps the story alive, and viewers are actively encouraged to subscribe, follow, and stay tuned for more developments, knowing that the next revelation could drop at any moment.
And honestly, it's heartbreaking.
Now people are open to hearing what has happened to me. People weren't ready to hear it 20 years ago.
My name is Adria Cherie Marcy English, and I was hired in the early 2000s to be a go-go dancer at Diddy's private white parties. I looked up to Diddy. He was an icon. He was dreams and goals to be in the entertainment industry. And so when I got the opportunity to dance at the white parties, I really took it seriously. The first time I met him, he was very nice, charismatic. He had a presence about him. I felt important. The fact that I kept getting invited back, it led me to believe that, I had special talent. After about the second or third party is when I got asked to do extra things more than dancing at the private white parties. It was more mingling more and being available if they wanted to participate in extras, I should say.
When you said that they started asking you to participate in extras, what do you mean?
I was I believe drugged. We were drinking from certain champagne bottles where it was like your eyes were open, but you were blacked out. And whatever it is that was in those drinks, it made you a zombie. I was asked to perform several acts with his guests.
And just when it seems like the story couldn't get any more chaotic, yet another clip has started circulating online, pulling even more attention into the storm. This time, the video features Diddy alongside Meek Mill during what appears to be a casual karaoke night. On the surface, it might sound harmless, but viewers are saying the moment feels strangely uncomfortable. Social media users have been replaying the clip over and over, dissecting facial expressions, body language, and tone, trying to figure out what exactly was going on in that room. The internet, as expected, has gone into full detective mode, analyzing every second as if it holds some hidden meaning. What really set things off is a particular moment in that karaoke clip that caught almost everyone off guard. During the video, Meek Mill makes a comment that immediately changes the energy in the room. You can visibly see Diddy turn around with what many viewers describe as a shocked or startled expression, almost like he didn't expect those words to be said out loud. That brief reaction sparked a massive wave of speculation online. People described the tension as thick, awkward, and impossible to ignore, even in a clip that only lasts a short time. Almost instantly, fans began connecting this moment to another controversy from the past. The clip reminded many of an alleged audio recording that went viral the year before, which was also said to involve Meek Mill and Diddy. That audio originally surfaced as part of a legal case that quickly gained public attention. The lawsuit, filed by music producer Rodney, Lil Rod Jones, reportedly spanned more than 70 pages and included a series of claims about inappropriate behavior within certain industry circles. In those court documents, there was mention of a rapper whose name was redacted. However, the description raised eyebrows almost immediately. The individual was described as a rapper from Philadelphia who had previously dated Nicki Minaj. While the name itself wasn't printed, many people online felt the description pointed very clearly toward Meek Mill. Once fans and commentators started connecting those dots, speculation spread fast across social platforms. According to the lawsuit, there were allegations involving inappropriate conduct tied to Diddy and the unnamed rapper. While none of those claims have been proven in court, the fact that they appeared in official legal filings made people take them more seriously. Once the documents circulated publicly, the way some fans viewed Meek Mill began to shift. Old interviews were rewatched, lyrics were reanalyzed, and even his most iconic song, Dreams and Nightmares, started being discussed in a completely different context. It's important to be clear here. No court has confirmed these allegations, and neither Meek Mill nor Diddy has been legally found guilty of the claims being discussed online. But in the age of social media, perception often moves faster than proof. Once legal documents, viral clips, and old rumors collide, public opinion can change overnight. Even without confirmed facts, the combination of past allegations and present-day footage has left many people questioning what's real, what's exaggerated, and what's being misunderstood. At the end of the day, the truth remains unclear. But what is clear is that every new clip, every resurfaced lawsuit detail, and every awkward moment caught on camera is adding fuel to an already raging fire. And as this situation continues to unfold, people are watching closer than ever, waiting to see what surfaces next, and whether any of these questions will ever get real answers.
Because of the status of the people involved, it was kind of like, well, this is better than a regular person, a regular guy. Like, this is someone who's rich and famous. And so I thought that was gonna graduate me into being able to sign a record deal.
How many people do you think that you were asked to engage sexually with?
I would say probably over 20 between all the parties. I did hear that when they did the raid on the house, that the tapes that he found, that I may be on them. My lawsuit was filed under the Gender Motivated Violence Act. It's for coercion, it's for stalking, it's for forced labor. I do want to apologize to my family for bringing that, shame. I did it because deep down I wanted to be famous, and I believed that it was going to be a way. That's scary, and it's a problem that needs to stop.
With the context of legal pressures and financial strategy in mind, it's easier to appreciate why the viral clips circulating now are causing such a stir. One of the most significant catalysts in this story is Aubrey Uday, a former close associate of Diddy. She recently appeared on a widely watched podcast, sharing insights that have fans replaying segments endlessly. Her comments weren't vague, they were sharp, detailed, and packed with implications about Diddy's current challenges. She described the situation as almost prison-like, saying that the public and the legal system only see a fraction of what's really going on. She even went further, stating that it's not even 1% of the justice that the victims deserve, a line that immediately grabbed attention. That statement sparked waves of conversation across social platforms. Fans, critics, and media outlets dissected every nuance of her commentary, debating both the ethics and legality of Diddy's actions. The implications were bigger than one individual. They touched on a systemic question about how power, influence, and celebrity intersect with accountability. Her words made people pause and reflect, not just on Diddy's personal choices, but on the broader dynamics at play in the entertainment industry. Who benefits, who gets protected, and who ultimately pays the price. Meanwhile, the clips themselves provide a vivid, sometimes contradictory perspective. Party footage, karaoke moments, behind-the-scenes videos, and leaked audio snippets offer glimpses of Diddy in both lighthearted and serious contexts. Fans notice subtle behaviors, gestures, facial expressions, tone of voice, trying to decipher whether they indicate stress, guilt, or simply the pressures of managing an empire under public scrutiny. The combination of insider testimony and viral clips has created an environment of intense speculation where every small detail can become a major talking point. Moreover, social media algorithms amplify these stories, ensuring that any snippet of controversy spreads like wildfire. Tweets dissecting Aubrey's podcast, Instagram posts highlighting new videos, and TikToks analyzing minute details all contribute to a growing storm of public interest. The result is a narrative that feels larger than life, with Diddy at the center of a whirlwind of financial, legal, and social scrutiny. People aren't just watching events, they're actively participating, theorizing, and debating the implications for celebrity culture, justice, and accountability.